All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the GvG meta report for week number 4. Yes, it's been 4 weeks since GvG has hit the Hearthstone meta, and it's actually stabilized quite a bit to where we actually have bona fide deck lists that we can show you this week. All right, so as per usual, starting with the Cancer, Hunters. Okay, so Hunters have actually taken a little bit of a change from their typical play, though not by much. Hunters are slowing down their deck slightly, but yet increasing it in other ways, and they're removing some defensive options that they normally had in there, i.e. Sludge Belcher. So here we have Firebat's Hunter deck. He took this to the pinnacle, did really good. So let's look it over. Dr. Boom, yes, because Dr. Boom is in every damn deck except for Priest. Great card. If you don't have it, again, go rob a liquor store, buy packs, craft it, do what you got to do. Alright, Knife Juggler, pretty much standard when you consider everything else. High Main, hey, it's Death Rattle, hey, it's a 6/5, Warriors hate this damn card. Iron Beak Owl, because, well, silence is great. Clockwork Gnome, because we're running Undertakers. Paladin Shredder, because we're running Undertaker. Not to mention the fact it's a very sticky minion, very difficult to get rid of. Alrighty then. Haunted Creeper, because we run Undertaker, and it's a sticky minion, really annoying to get rid of. Loatheb. Well, they got rid of Sludge Belchers, so they needed a decent 5-drop in there, and nothing is more powerful than Loatheb in the 5-drop slot. Mad Scientist, because it's Hunter and they run Undertaker. Undertaker, big fucking surprise here. Web Spinner. Again, see previous statement. Alright, abilities. Explosive Trap. Of course, there's a lot of aggro going around. You're going to need some tools. Unfortunately, this will not be enough to deal with Muster for Battle, but, you know, hey, shit happens. Freezing Trap. This that we're actually doubling up on. And this is mostly for the control matchup, especially in tournaments. So being able to take, like, their big minion that they were planning on it doing something and, like, negating it, awesome. However, because Dr. Boom exists, most likely you're throwing back a Boombot. Alright. Unleash the Hounds. Yes, Unleash the Hounds, because Implosion exists. Alright. Animal Companion. Probably the best 3-drop spell Hunters have available. This card alone could snowball so many damn games. Kill Command, because, yes, Hunters don't actually need to beat you in any other way than just get you down to 10 life and go, haha, hee hee, I win. And, of course, the Eagle Horn Bow, rounding it out for the 3 secrets that are in the deck. So, yes, that is the Hunter. Moving on to the next Cancer, we have Paladin. Yes, Paladin. Okay, so Bolvar 4-Dragon, a card that everybody thought was virtually garbage, and still do. But it does actually get some value. Alright, so you got Bolvar, you got Dr. Boom, you got Harrison Jones, because, you know, weapon classes exist, and you've got to worry about that. You've got the Black Knight, you've got Tyrion Fordring. Yes, he'll never die. Okay, Big Game Hunter, because, you know, Handlock exists. Quartermaster, because we're running Muster for Battle, and, you know, nothing says get wrecked like a group of 3/3s and a 2/5 on turn 8. Alright, Aldor Peacekeepers, because Giants exist, anything with a lot of attack exists, yeah, mitigating it down, it's what Paladins are known for. Knife Juggler, hey, you're going to be kicking out tokens anyway, might as well take advantage of that. Paladin Shredder, I'm a sticky minion that when you kill me, still comes back. Shield Minibot, early game drop, really good to use, kind of annoys a lot of people. Sludge Belcher, defensive option, again, see Paladin. Zombie Chow, great early game tempo card, could trade a lot of things and kind of handle all of that. Even though it is giving life back to your opponent, Paladins don't win in the early to mid game, they're all about the late game. We know this. Alright, now moving on to the abilities, we've got Avenging Wrath. This card's actually been making quite a bit of a comeback lately in Paladins. It opens up some very unique possibilities and helps in maintaining board control. Lay on Hands, because sometimes aggro is annoying. Equality, because again, sometimes aggro is annoying, sometimes giants are annoying, sometimes everything's fucking annoying and it must die. Muster for battle, because, you know, what else is Quartermaster going to do? Consecration, because we have equalities. Simple as that. True Silver Champion, again, Tempo Tool, probably one of the most powerful weapons still to date in the game. Alrighty then. So this week we actually had to make a choice between 3 different Druid decks. Technically 4, but I didn't really want to go with the fun deck option here. Alright, so Druids have 3 really good decks to choose from. You have your traditional ramp that a lot of people have been playing that tends to have some problems with aggro. You've got your fast Druid, which has lesser problems with aggro, but some control matchups they still lose because they just don't have the big bodies to deal with what their opponents have. You have Mill, which is kind of an annoyance all around. And then you have the tree decks, or as I effectively refer to this as, the MTA, or Molten Tree Alexstrasza. Okay, so how this basically works is you have virtually no early game outside of ramping yourself up using wild growths, using stuff like wraths, swipes to kind of mitigate whatever kind of things your opponent is doing. All right. Then you get to around turn 5, turn 6, and this is where you start actually building up board presence and doing whatever. But it really doesn't matter what you're going to do, because the idea is you want to take damage. You want them to hurt you. All right? Now, this deck actually works on the principle of you take damage, you summon out double Molten Giants, and oh, look at that. You drop the Tree of Life, reset everything, and then the next turn you follow it up with Mr. Alexstrasza, and you go face for the win. Now, you don't have to do this. You have Ragnaroses, you have Dr. Boom, you have the Savage War, Force of Nature, so you have a lot of different interesting ways of getting to that victory. And I like that. I really do. It's a lot more versatile than a lot of other decks out there. But if plan A fails, you always have plan B. So cool. And of course this is running Sun Fury Protector because, well, come on. Molten Giants that are taunted are really annoying to deal with. Ramp options, we're actually using Growth Tenders along with Wild Growth and Innervates. So this is either a ramp option or it's a card draw engine, which, you know, come on, who doesn't love that? So this is a really cool deck. I actually had a chance to play around with this a bit. Of the 5 games I played, I lost the first one, but won the next 4. And my opponent was like, what the hell kind of crap was that? Tree of Life. It's an amazing card, a lot more powerful than a lot of people gave it credit for. If Warlocks had this card, they would be broken as fuck. That's all I'm saying. Oh wait, they already use. It's called Jiraxis. Alright, moving on. So, Mage. Alright, so probably there's 2 decks for Mage. There's Freeze Mage, which we all know. I mean, I could go find a list, but come on, we already know Freeze Mage. Mech Mage. There's a lot of different Mech Mages out there. Most of them are all cycled around Antonidas. However, a few have been popping up that also use Dr. Boom, because it's Dr. fucking Boom. It's very difficult to deal with. And, you know, he works in every class. So, Antonidas, here's your Fireball spam engine, which, you know, this deck is running 2 Fireballs. Alright? Alright, Dr. Boom, Goblin Blast Mage, because you got a fuck ton of mechs in this deck, so why not? Mana Worm, because you have spells in this deck. You're going to be getting spare parts, so it makes perfect sense. That and this will normally pull like some removal options almost immediately out of your opponent's hand. And if that doesn't do it, the Sorcerer's Apprentice will. Alright, this allows most of your mechs to go unmolested by spells. Alright, so we have a Noyotron, we have Clockwork Gnomes, we have 1 Mechanical Yeti, we have 2 Mech Warpers, 2 Pilot Shredders, the Snow Chugger, yes, yes, Warrior's Nightmare, the Snow Chugger. This guy is such a beast. I mean, anybody with a weapon hates Snow Chugger. They really do. He is, I mean, the Water Elemental was kind of annoying, but this guy, no. This guy will lock you down most of the time. Alright, Spider Tank. It's pretty good. Arguably, maybe subpar to the Harvest Golem, but A lot of people like Spider Tank. I like it myself, so hey, why not? Tinkertown Technician. Fuck, all these goddamn mechs, you damn right I'm going to have a Tinkertown Technician in this. Loatheb, because, well, Druid still exists and Force of Nature combo sucks. Alright, Flame Cannon. This is an interesting choice here, but I mean, low cost removal option. It can actually take care of things that have 4 life, which there are quite a few of those in this game. Frostbolt, pretty standard. Arcane Intellect, only one of here, so pretty standard. Fireballs, okay, cool. I have seen other variations of a similar concept of this deck that also run a Flame Strike because Paladins are so relevant, and Flame Strike is really the only tool they have to deal with them past turn 7. Because Muster for Battle is annoying as fuck. Alright, moving on to the next class. We have the Priest. Yes, Amaz, you know, the Master of Priest, has come back with another Priest control deck. So here we go. Vol'jin making an appearance. He's actually been showing up all week in Priest. Like, everybody who has a Priest deck has Vol'jin. If you want to play Priest, have Vol'jin. I've tried playing Priest decks without Vol'jin. They win, they're just not as consistent. Vol'jin really does seal that deal on so many different levels. Cabal Shadow Priest, really awesome. Recombobulator has some interesting effects. I'm not 100% sold on it, but okay. Akanai Soul Priest, of course, we know why this is good. Injured Blade Master, we know why. Wild Pyromancer, because aggro exists. Strickmeister, because we have things that can steal shit and kill shit. Why not? Northshire Cleric, because, you know, it's awesome. Dark Cultist, because it's awesome. Now, we get to some of these other cards here. In the abilities, Light Bomb. Light Bomb has been making such a massive presence felt, alright? It deals with Muster for Battle combos really nicely. It deals with a lot of shit really nicely. Oh, you got 3 giants on the board. Nope. 6 mana. I could wipe anything off the board. And it's so effective. Light of the Naru is being used both as a healing tool and as an offensive tool with the Akanai Soul Priest, and this is getting a lot of play. I mean, like a seriously disgusting amount of play. Shadow Madness, because aggro decks exist, Sludge Belters exist, things of that nature, so you can almost always get value out of this. It's really great, especially versus mech decks, because most mechs are actually like, you know, under 4. With a few exceptions. So you almost always have a target with that. Circle of Healing, because, you know, Injured Blade Master plus Akanai Soul Priest, why not? Thought Steals, because taking your opponent's shit is extremely powerful. Holy Nova, because AoEs are still awesome, though it kind of feels a little superfluous when you consider everything else this deck has. Velen's Chosen, hey, even more power. 2 Power Word Shields, cool, card draw. Shadow Word Pain, this is the one that actually kind of made me go, Why the Shadow Word Pain? I mean, I know why, but there's no Shadow Word Deaths in here. So, to me, this deck kind of feels like Handlock might actually overwhelm it unless they get their 1, and I do mean 1, Light Bomb. So you're going to have to do a lot of trading, but because, you know, you got Velen's Chosen and things of that nature, you could probably get away with some shit with that. So, keep that in mind. But the deck is actually pretty solid. A lot of people love these concepts when it comes to Priest, and it's actually working. So, if you want to play Priest, get Vol'jin. The Recombobulator, though, still not sold on 100%. Alright. Rogues! Okay, so we've seen Mech Rogue. That's all over the place. But we've also been seeing the Prince Rogue, because, you know, trade Prince Gallywix. You know, people are like, oh, it's like a better Lore Walker Cho. Yes, it is a better Lore Walker Cho. And it is an amazing Lore Walker Cho. My God, is this thing disgusting. Okay, so like every deck besides Priest, Dr. Boom. Ragnaros coming back into the folds. Yes, it's good to see more Rag. Trade Prince Gallywix does a lot of work in this deck. Azure Drakes because draw engine. SI7 agents because, you know, we're rogue. Earthen Ring Farseers have come back. Yes, normally you would think to see anti-kill bots, but as you've noticed, there's not very many, you know, early minions that this is going to play. So the Earthen Rings kind of take that role along with the SI7 agents. Piloted Shredders, pretty standard. A lot of decks these days. Loatheb, standard since Naxxramas came out. Sludge Belchers, again, see previous statement. Now you get to some of these spells here. You got preparations. Okay, what does this deck need preparations for? Sprints, because you need the card draw. Tinker, Sharp Sword, Oil, Blade Furies, Eviscerates, Backstabs, Deadly Poison, Saps. This all seems well and good, but what people seem to undervalued here is exactly how powerful Blade Fury has become because of Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil. My god, this thing, plus all the spell power that's here, you know, with the Azure Drakes, you could get some massive value out of this. Wipe whole boards and just dominate. You know, you wipe the board, next turn you play down Dr. Boom, and then the turn after that you play down Ragnaros, and you're just going to wreck the shit out of your opponent. It's actually a really nifty deck. It is a little bit more consistent than I thought it would be. So, yeah, give this a try. It's a lot of fun. It is very tempo reliant, though. Okay, so Shaman. Alright, so Mech Shaman, probably one of the surprise introductions into the meta, has been pretty much accepted and expanded upon. So Alakir, still not gone because Alakir is a massive win condition no matter how you look at it. But instead of taking Doomhammer, people are opting for Neptulon and Dr. Boom because, you know, minions are always a little bit better. Instead, for weapon options, they're taking Power Mace, so they have some early aggro defense as well as the ability of boosting up their early game mechs, which is kind of cool. Now, what I liked about this deck is the fact that it uses an antique heal bot. This has become pretty much a standard tool. We've seen Handlocks using it. We've seen a lot of other classes using it, so why not Shaman? You know, it's a nice little 8-mana reset. Or, I mean, 5-mana, 8-life reset. Who doesn't like that? But when you start looking at the other minions here, Power Mace can actually do some amazing things. Hi, have a 4/7 taunter that cannot be targeted by spells or hero power. And, you know, you apply that same logic to every single one of these mechs, and it gets really disgusting. A Noyatron becomes a 3/4 with Divine Shield. And Tikilbot's a 5/5. Paladin Shredder is a 6/5 that when it dies summons something else, but the Whirling Zap-O-Matic, also known as the Snowball Machine, because, well, you get this guy out, Flame Tongue Totems, this, that, and the other. This guy can spiral out of control greatly. But now, the deck also runs Neptulon, and you might think, what the fuck is Neptulon doing here? That doesn't fit this deck at all. I mean, what are the fucking Murlocs going to do? It does, actually, in a surprising little way. Alright? In a control meta, where you're facing off against another control deck, you know, Alakir can easily be taken down. Dr. Boom, most likely could be taken down, but a lot of shit's going to fuck him up. So that's pretty much going to exhaust almost everything your opponent has to deal with these big threats. Now here comes Neptulon, boom, that's a 7/7, plus you're getting all these Murlocs that you could play the next turn, and if any of them are War Leaders or Bluegill Warrior, you're going to have instant answers. Alright, that's really going to cause a lot of problems. Play that along with the Flame Tongue Totems and get even more value. So, yeah, it makes sense. Now, the deck is not running any Lightning Bolts, which is kind of shocking, but they are running one Crackle and one Earthshock. Instead of having more control elements, they've actually sacrificed those control elements to have more minion-based. So, it's a very interesting deck. It really is. I played different variations. I think it's actually quite fun, quite unique. It's definitely worth your time checking into investing. Do I think Neptulon is actually needed in this deck? Not really, but it works. You could probably insert another 7-drop in there, or even less. I mean, Sylvanas could work in here really nicely. Ragnaros could work in there very nicely. Just saying. Hell, you could even throw in Trogzor. That way your opponent is less likely to cast the spell to try to regain tempo. I know, it's scary, but that shit works brilliantly. Alright, next up we have the Handlock. Yes, Handlock. You know, the class and deck type that really didn't change a damn bit, except for they added in anti-heal bots instead of Earthen Ring Farseers. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Lord Jaraxxus. Yeah, he's still here. Sylvanas, still here. Big Game Hunter, still here. Though Big Game Hunter is faded in and out, but it's still a solid play. Molten Giants, Mountain Giants, Recombobulator. Now, Recombobulator makes sense in Handlocks because of Giants, alright? There are very few 10-drops in the game. There are very few... There's actually only one 20-drop in the game, so recombobulating an injured Giant makes a lot of sense. The downside is, if it's already taunted up, it will lose said taunt. So remember this, and play it smartly. Alright, Ancient Watchers, again, pretty standard. Defenders of Argus, only one this time, pretty standard. Sunfear Protector, Twilight Drakes. I mean, this is all stuff we've seen before. Shadow Flame, Siphon Soul. Wait a minute, Dark Bomb. Hello. Yes, Dark Bomb has been brought in to replace Soulfire because discarding a card is never a good thing. You're literally trading 2 for 1 in almost every instance when you use a Soulfire. Dark Bomb, not as much problem, but you'll lose a little bit off the top end because of it, and it costs you a little bit more. But hey, this is Handlock, and because of Antique Healbots, they're able to survive a lot longer. So guess what, Hunters? Good fucking luck. Alright, moving on to the last deck. Warrior. Yes, Warrior Control. Yes, the deck that has basically not changed since, you know, Monk and Team Liquid kind of put it out there. Alright? So, Monk, Team Liquid put out the original Warrior Control. It has been modified. So Joe's, or whatever his name is, changed 2 cards in it, and all of a sudden everybody's saying this is a brand new deck and all that, so whatever. Alright, so here you go. Pretty much standardized list. Oh, look, Shield Maiden's only one of. Wait a minute, what the hell kind of insanity is this? One Shield Maiden? Heresy. Shield Slam, Shield Blocks, Whirlwinds. Wait, we haven't seen Whirlwinds in a bit. Oh, look, there's no Exploding Sheep because it's not needed. Executes. Okay, Gorehowl. Yes, Gorehowl's making a return because weapons are important. Fiery War Axes and Deathbite. This is actually a really fun, innovative deck. It's innovative to some degree because of like 1, 2 GvG cards in it. Literally 2 GvGs. But it's still effective. It's a great tournament deck. On ladder, it's still above 50%, so you can't go wrong with it. And it will frustrate the shit out of most aggro decks once you've learned how to master this deck. It's also probably the most expensive deck there is to play, so keep that in mind. So and that wraps up the GvG meta report for week 4. All of these decks will be listed in the description in the bottom. Please like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends, and all that other fun stuff. This is a Shiv. Till next week, stay safe, have fun, and good luck.